All good. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. Again, appreciate. I hope I've said it a number of times, and if I haven't, I apologize. I appreciate the coverage you give our team, our student athletes, and our program. A lot of times you get to tell the story that needs to be told about individuals, their backgrounds, their stories, and what makes this team unique. So thank you for continuing to do that. Really excited about our win. Man, it feels like a long time ago now, playing on the Friday night. But we started very fast to the game. We needed to. That was important. Second quarter, obviously, didn't play well at all on either side of the ball. But then had enough about ourselves to come out and play really well in the second half. And I think, defensively made some slight adjustments that made a huge difference in how we were playing the second half. Offense took control of the game. And again, special teams showed up in a good way for us. So a good team win against a team that I've got a lot of respect for their coach and the way that they've played over the years. And then our guys moved on pretty quick. So we know what's ahead for us. We know the opportunities that are out there, and they, again, start with their preparation and how our habits are throughout the week and how good can we get this week to go play against obviously a really, really good team in Air Force. So, questions?
Yeah, so how do you prepare and practice for Air Force? Do you practice without the football? I know some programs have done that in the past where they just play assignment football so they know where to go, who to go after, what have you. And then was there any integration of the triple option into, say, fall camp?
Well, I'll answer both of them in the same. Early in spring ball, we had some days designated for this type of offense. And then we continued it for some time in meetings and walkthrough in fall camp. At those times we didn't use a football. This on the discipline of what the structure looks like. And this week we'll use a ball, just like every other game week we have. So, they're unique in their approach on what they do. They're really good at how they do it. They've got answers for how you align and how you play. And you've got to be multiple enough that you give different pitchers, but also simple enough that you allow your kids to go play fast. So look forward to the opportunity, the challenge to build the plan on both sides this week. Our staff does, and then can we go execute it? Can we teach it, and can we execute it? So it'll be a fun week.
You got two tied for first place head-to-head in Week 11 of the season. Given all the context, do you think this is the biggest game in UNLV football history?
I don't know about history. It'll be the I wouldn't be wise of me to answer that in the context. I'm not familiar with the other really big games in the history of this program. All due respect, it's huge for this season. Next year we'll have one that's as big or bigger than this one, and if we prepare well, then we'll have an opportunity to play really well. And if we don't, then they're all big, and this one wouldn't be a big game if last week didn't turn out the way it did, and on the week before and week before. But our players know what's out there. We've addressed that and understand how important this week is, and it's crucial for the success on the things that we're trying to accomplish. And I know, some of the things that I say and do publicly, there's not much personality to it, so I get that. I've been told that for a long time. But I've learned over time, if I'm showing, way too high or way too low, that's not good for our team. So the message they need to get is, we're back to work, next opponent, what we need to do. I am thrilled in the situation that we are. But also I know if I sit there and think about that for any longer than it needs to be, then it's just a moment that was, past, and, man, we didn't capitalize on it. So I'm really excited about the direction this program is going. I'm excited about what this team has done up to this point, and how exciting will it be if we can have a great Tuesday practice. So I apologize.
In your experience, what makes a difference between a team that gets better as the season goes on? I mean, you talk about, you know, doing the little details in practice a lot. What does that mean when it comes to putting a team on an upward trajectory for this final, you know, quarter of the season, let's say?
Yeah, they don't relax. They understand there's always more out there. The pursuit of trying to play your best ball, the message on what that looks like, the practice habits, the recovery habits, eating breakfast and lunch and preparing your body, fueling your body down the stretch on the way that looks, extra recovery time, finding a way to what's important in your life to minimize distractions, but also find a way to spend 30 extra minutes a day on film study. All of those things go into what it looks like on playing your best ball, especially late in the year. Are you mentally tough enough and strong enough to do it as a team? And if you are, then you're going to pass guys that aren't. And there's a lot of teams get late October and into November that they thrive and continue to get better. And then there's teams that disappear into the world of nothingness. And you know, that's our challenge, is to every single day push the limits, try to hit the standard on what it needs to be. And the pursuit of us playing our best ball is all of those things. And I know I'm missing a number of components that go into it, but all of those things into the opportunity to try to achieve whatever our best game can be. And if, you know, we still defensively, offensively, and kicking, we have not played our best game. And you know, I'm hopeful that if we have a really good week of preparation, that we'll get a little bit closer to that pursuit.
As the coaching staff, is part of your job to sort of keep an eye out for any kind of slippage in practice, or those sort of warning signs that someone may be letting up in intensity? And how do you sort of manage that? Yep. And what are you looking for, and how do you handle all that?
I think it's really important because as you always choose what you see and don't see, right? I worked for Gary Pinkel for a number of years, and I thought he was had his PhD in just the nature of what it looked like, consistency, day in and day out. And there's red flags everywhere if you choose to look away from it. You know, where guys dress the way they're supposed to be, were they here on time, did anybody miss breakfast, how were the meetings, what did stretch and walk through look like, was the communication right, the attention to detail that goes into every single rep. You know, you can choose to see those things, or you can look away and say, oh, it's going to be okay, and it never is. Leaving things to chance never ever work. So, and as soon as you get tired of doing it, you get beat. So I've been in it and around it long enough, and around really good people to understand what it's supposed to look like, what it needs to look like. And is it demanding? Absolutely. Is it rewarding? No doubt about it. And if you do it right every single day, it could be the most rewarding experience that our student athletes have playing sport up to this point in their life. And that is what drives our coaching staff on trying to achieve the things that we set out early on.
Before the season started, did you give yourself some kind of timeline on what a rebuild looked like, and where does the season kind of fall on that timeline?
Yeah, I think I mentioned a number of times it wasn't a rebuild in my mind. It was a win right now. And I think in college football today, the way the landscape of what it is, every team is going to be different. Our roster looks so much different than the roster did last year. My guess is it'll look a lot different next year. That's the world of college sports now. Whether you agree to it or not, it's the reality. So you've got to piece together the puzzle on putting the right guys in the right spots, developing the guys in your program, adding through recruiting, signing day, transfer, junior college, portal, whatever it is, on piecing that team together. But to me, in our world anymore, you don't get time for a complete overhaul, rebuild. That doesn't exist anymore. So the expectation is to get as good as you can, going into that season and win as many as you can. So we didn't ever, as a staff or self, personally, I didn't put on, well, we've got to win this amount. My pursuit since we've been here is to compete and win championships, and to do it now. Nobody, do you think the seniors want me to talk about, well, we'll build it and compete for a championship in 3 years? They don't want to hear that. And so I owe it to this team to do everything I can to get them into the conversation to having a chance to win a championship. And that was the approach we took from the day we had a chance to step on campus.
How has this group either lived up to or maybe even surpassed some of those expectations laid out?
I think we've progressed every week. We've gotten better. I think our practice habits have increased every single week, the urgency on what that looks like. So they've been hungry to be coached, which has been fun. Yeah, if that's the right word. They've wanted structure and discipline, and they've responded well. They compete. They're a competitive group, and I think those are all qualities that will continue to build the program, but also serve them well as they move into the real world of life after football.
Coming off of a short week of prep, you now have a long week, an extended week of prep. How have you handled the extra prep time, especially consider this opponent?
Yeah, we turned the page pretty quickly after Friday night's game, and then the staff had a really good game plan day on Saturday, and then again on Sunday. So I feel like it's a lot later already in the week than Monday. This was our players' first day on the field. We've had meetings and lifting prior to today, but we would be ahead of schedule at this point. But again, now we've got to really press, because the importance of our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are so key to how we play on Saturday. So I think we needed the day. We needed the extra day, not only preparation, but our players needed it, and I think we utilized it the right way.
And then coming into this week, the look squad is obviously big for getting ready for the Falcons offense. Is there anybody that maybe has experience running it and effectively running it that has helped out?
Here's some personality for you. Come out tomorrow, I'm going to be playing the running back, the fullback spot. I've got my shoulder pads, which used to be like that big, neck roll. It's going to be a heck of a day. We've got to have a great look, so we're going to spend some extra time with those guys in meetings. You can never, in playing an offense similar to this prior to, you can get as close as you think you can on replicating the look, but then you get to game day and it's a lot faster. There's things that happen and get up on you a little bit quicker than we did, in doing it in practice. So how important that is. But I know our guys, they understand what the role is. All 107 guys, they know what their role is and what they need to do this week to have our team ready to go play. And they embraced it today. It was a good start. Tomorrow will be we'll try to do everything we can to get the look we need to on both sides. And, that's the challenge each week, but a little bit different this week, unique for sure.
Coach, wasn't D'Angelo Urban, wasn't he recruited by Air Force? Did he have any intel? Is he running QB? Wasn't that him?
He's doing a lot of things for us. I mean, he's punt return. He's doing some things over in the scout field or the look squad for the defense. He's got a role this week offensively for us, and he's busy. Yeah.
Kaleo Ballon guy, sorry, has kind of turned into a third down maker. So did you expect that to develop, and why is it happening?
I think he keeps making plays in practice, and in 2-minute drill every week, I feel like he makes something out here in practice to either extend the drive or a clutch play. He's certainly got the skill set to be an impact guy, and now we're starting to see it on game day, which is exciting. And I think there's a connection with the quarterback and him on some of the feel for, if it's zone or man, how he's settling and breaking in and out of the routes. He's made some big time catches. I was so happy for him, man, when he scored the touchdown the other night. The look on his face, I hope I never forget that, because it was pure, genuine excitement, and not because he scored the touchdown, but because the way what that touchdown did for our team. And man, I was thrilled for him.
We're getting into the part of the season where freshmen are really no longer freshmen. They played, especially a guy like Jaden Mayaba, who's played almost like the whole year now. What have you seen from him in progression-wise? How is he different now and better now than he was, in week 3 when he first got thrown?
I think his reads are a lot smoother, quicker, with more confidence, and that's reps. And that a number of freshmen are playing and have played this year. But you're exactly right. I mean, we take the age off of who they are when we get started anyway, but you look at the development of every single guy that's a quote-unquote younger guy. They've played a lot better ball here the last 2 to 3 weeks, and we need them to play their best ball here the next 2 weeks and whatever comes after that. So I think there's nothing like having reps, and that's practice reps, and then obviously the game day reps are probably as double as important as anything else, just the live action of what it looks like. So we've got some guys that have really stepped up in certain situations, and Jaden for sure, in his reads and his poise directing the offense has been impressive.
Is there an update on Dre Williams and any injury updates coming out of the Wyoming game?
Yeah, we were anybody that played Friday night is they all practiced today, which is great. Dre was close last week, and he practiced again today. He's getting closer by the date, so that's certainly exciting for him and for us. And there's a difference in being cleared, cleared and can get back to practice, but can you function and play at the level you need to? There's a fine line there, so we're getting close for him to be back on in live competition.
Coach, how do you keep your team's mindset in the right place heading into this week's game?
If our minds aren't in the right place, then what are we doing? It's everything that they've worked for is here this week. You win this one and you create another opportunity for next week. So I think it's consistency. I think it is understanding the standard of every single habit, what that looks like, and then being demanding of it. But we've got a very mature team, in my opinion, in those regards. So they will handle their business. They understand what we need to do. And then the way that our practice is structured, if you show up and your mind is not there, you're going to get exposed really, really quickly. And I think we'll be dialed in. We'll be ready to have a really good Tuesday practice tomorrow morning.
Can you talk about, can you talk about recruiting for immediate need in the portal? Guys like Cooper Webb, Alex Whitmore. I know they had connections to the staff. Jed Elad, I don't know what the connection was there, but those 3 guys have played a big role on D.
They've been huge, yeah, and you always, every year is going to be different on how many guys. Again, our class for 2024 is, it's a high school completed class, and there'll be some changes as, the next month goes on. There always are. But we're a high school recruiting team and program, and we're going to continue to be. And if we have openings for whatever reason with an older guy, then we'll be very select and direct on who we want to go take and bring into the program. There's immediate fixes and help in those avenues, but I don't know here that we can be a complete overhaul. Well, we're going to go bring in 25 portal guys, because if the investment, if you get a guy that's got 6 months left, is he really invested in UNLV football in the program, or is it a stop on the way to the next opportunity? So all that goes into the conversation that we have as a staff, and again, it comes down to relationships on figuring out if it's the right fit, not only for us but for the prospect. And then, fitting into the locker room. Also, we're recruiting guys that are competitive, that like ball. They like the process of it, not just – I like guys that want to go work. They're really good. They want to be straight A students. They work really hard. They want to compete and win a championship. and they enjoy the process throughout the week as much as they do the competition. Okay, if we're spending too much time on a photo shoot or some of those things that go along with recruiting, may not be for us, and that's okay too. So we're fairly dialed into what is going to be right for us, and fortunately those three guys that you mentioned, they have upped our play in the way that they've played. They've helped our team win games. They've been great in the locker room. They brought toughness to our program, and really fortunate that we were able to get those guys. Jackson Turner was a player at a different school, transferred in for his, we've had him for a very short time, one season, and I think he's had an all-conference year, and he's completely all into our program, and so we've been really fortunate on the guys that we were able to recruit, that they've made our team better.
How does it kind of feel to not only be in a position where you're competing for a conference championship, but you guys might be able to host the championship game? I guess, how does it feel to have put yourself in that position?
It'd be awesome, wouldn't it? You have another game in Allegiant. We're playing pretty well in there right now, and to be able to do that for the city, for our university, that would be the ultimate. And if we, again, whatever we get, we'll earn. And if we can go earn it, then we'll have the game this week, and then we'll have two more in Allegiant, which would that would be great for our kids, our program, university, and the city of Vegas.
Anything else?
Have a great week, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry.
Thanks, Coach.
Cam, what is it about this time of year where you start to really step up your game?
I don't know. It's something about Novembers. Coach been preaching to us that teams that win in November will be remembered. So he's just been working at it.
What did you see on the interception right in front of the end zone?
We've been watching film, and we know that they like to run that route a lot in the red zone. So I seen that, and once I thought it was too good to be true, and then he threw it, and then just made a play.
What was the emotion going into the locker room? Because, that changed. I assume it changed everything.
Yeah, I feel like we needed a little spark because they had the momentum on their side. They just scored 2 touchdowns back to back. So we just kept saying on the sideline, we need a spark, and make that play probably turn the whole team up.
For both of you guys, you played on Friday night, and then you woke up Sunday morning and you're in first place. How does that feel just to be at this point in the season, only 2 weeks left, and you're at the top of the standings?
After watching those 2 games and waking up on Sunday morning, it felt really good. Coming into the locker room, a lot of guys were talking about it, and but this is something that we've kind of been working for since January. That Coach Odom, when he first came in here, told us that we were going to be competing for a Mountain West championship. So it feels good, but there's a lot on the line. There's a lot at stake right now, and we're still not done yet. We haven't reached our goal yet, so we're still, trying to just stay focused and stuff. But yeah, it definitely feels good.
It's piggyback off what Jacob said. Coach Odom did promise us a Mountain West championship, and we're in that spot right now. So we feel like everything we want is still at hand, and job's not done.
And Cameron, you've been here for a few years. I don't know how much of the history of the program you know, but playing Air Force this week. Guys are tied for first. Still, you guys can host a Mountain West championship game. Is this the biggest game in program history?
I feel like it is. I feel like every game we treat it like it's the biggest game in program history. If we take it one day, one rep at a time, then the outcome we're gonna like at the end.
As a defensive back preparing for this team, I know conventionally you look at Air Force, they're not a passing team, but the mindset of being involved in a run all season long, how has that helped you in getting your mind right to play this team?
It's been helping me a lot, getting in the run, cornerbacks are like always secondary in the run, but my job is, whenever the run spits out or whenever it's time for me to make a tackle, make sure that I make that tackle.
Jacob, what's been the key to success on third down conversions now? I think ranked 3rd nationally, or nationally, sorry.
I think really it's just all about just staying calm, staying poised in the moment. 3rd down is a really big down, especially when the game's close. Those downs are very important, but we work on it a lot in practice. Every Wednesday we're always doing good on good, first team versus first team, third down conversions, and I think that's what really helps us get prepared for the game. And just like I said, staying calm, staying poised, believing, no matter the distance, we believe we can get it.
You picked up a big third down against Wyoming. You had the whip, which is kind of a classic slot route. You got any favorite routes on third down, or what gets you open on thirds?
I wouldn't say I have any specific favorite route because there's different down and distances that third down could be on. But yeah, definitely a whip route is one of my strong suits. Just because I use I'm my low center of gravity. I could use my quickness to get in and out of that. So yeah, I would say whip route is probably one of the favorites. But depending on the down and distance, you can't run that if it's 3rd and 15 and expect to try to get a first down. But so it just depends.
Cam, what's been the most surprising thing, I guess, about this team and about your guys' record so far this season?
Our resiliency. We get knocked down, we get right back up. Make sure that we have a next play mindset, and next play mindset is going to get us to the next play, and you never know what play it could be to change the game around.
Air Force has been a tough matchup for you guys the past couple of years. What do you remember about going up against that, the option offense, obviously, and what do you think it's going to take in order for you guys to slow it down this time around?
I feel like it's going to take just everybody doing their job, making sure that they focus on what their job is and make sure they do that to the best of their ability on that play, because it's always just being consistent and assignment sound.
Jacob, what do you think has kind of led to the success that this team has experienced so far this year?
I think, just Coach Odom harping on, the little habits, the winning habits that we have to have and continue to have if we want to, make it to the Mountain West Championship and win out the rest of the games that we have. It's just, continuing to have those winning habits, like coming in early on time, practicing with great energy outside, focusing on school, doing everything right, because he says that's what winning takes. It's a sacrifice. You have to pay the price to win, and those are the prices that you have to pay to win. So, I think just him coming in here and changing that kind of culture and just, just emphasizing those things, making that a big importance on this team, I think that's part of the reason why we have such big success on this team.
Do you feel a difference between a practice, say in week 1 or 2 or preseason, and a practice here in week 11? How does it feel different to you as a player at this point in the year?
The weather is different, but other than that, I feel like we've been on the same mission since week 1. Even when it was Bryant week, we had the same goals, same mindset, the same winning habits that we have to continue to have here. So I don't think it's much different. We have the same routine almost exactly from week 1. But yeah, I would just say the weather is a little different. It's colder, but yeah, that's it.
You guys go on and you win the championship and all of that, and obviously you're going to a bowl game, would you reflect maybe on the loss at Fresno as maybe a positive of sorts, because it appears as though you're playing angry right now?
I mean, yeah, anytime this team has their backs against the walls, we tend to show up and play harder. So I feel like that loss we learned a lot from, and we learned who we are and our identity. So we just took that and ran with it and said we don't ever want to have that feeling again.
I feel like the loss, no team ever wants to lose, but like Cam said, I feel like the loss made us reflect back on ourselves, see what we need to fix. Coach Odom was saying we didn't practice well that week. We had some, winning habits that we weren't following that week, and that's what that's what happens when you're not 100% all week. So we're kind of going into the next game, New Mexico. We were practicing hard all week, and then same thing for Wyoming. We were practicing hard all week, and that's what we just need to continue to do if we want to win out. So I think it definitely did help us, and I think we definitely may see them again. Coming up, they're a very good team. I give them a lot of props, but I feel like that loss was really us just beating ourselves. But again, Fresno's a very good team, and I hope we do get to see them again.
Jacob, you mentioned that you watched those 2 games on Saturday. You can't always do that because you're playing at the same time a lot of times. But Just what is that experience like? You know, you, maybe your teammates, just being able to watch in these meaningful games at this point in the season, and just how fun is that experience for you guys?
Yeah, it was definitely cool to play on a Friday and be able to watch all the Saturday games the next day, especially watching that, you know, Air Force and Hawaii game, because Air Force we play next. So it was cool to see, you know, a team that we already played and the team that we're also going to face, you know, face off each other. And, you know, we learned a lot of things from watching that game. So, you know, it was cool.
For both of you, as an individual player, how hungry are you for this win against Air Force?
Oh, very hungry. You know, like we said earlier, it's probably the biggest game in UNLV history. So we're just treating that every day like it's a championship, playing for a championship. That's what Coach Odom likes to harp on, because we are basically, and it's a really big game.
Yeah, Coach Marion talks a lot about all our goals and dreams. You know, every week, you know, he's just saying this is one step closer to our dreams, our ultimate big dreams, and we're not there yet. But this game is, you know, means a lot to us. We're very hungry as a whole team, you know, to make something happen for the city of Las Vegas and for the University of Nevada. You know, so this is just a big moment for us, and you know, we're gonna do everything we can. You know, so yeah.
For Cam, you guys have had a tough time stopping the triple option the last couple of years. So the experienced defenders, are you stepping up as a vocal leader? Are there other guys who are vocal, like trying to pound it into them? Like, this is a really hard offense to stop.
Oh yeah, you know, guys like Marcel McDuffie, D linemen like Jalen Dixon, they know what's about to happen. So we've been kind of preaching off like we got to stop the run, and make them throw. And if we make them throw, then I'm pretty sure we have a pretty good chance.
How difficult is it to be disciplined? You know, the eye discipline in this game.
It's pretty difficult, but because they have a lot of motions and stuff. But if everybody just has their eyes in the right place, then the plays are gonna come to you, and you just do your job. Then it's gonna work out how we want it to. Thank you guys.